Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Happy Friday. December the 12th, 2025, Lincoln Park. Yeah, I'm just going to tootle around the neighborhood, head up to Mariano's. Sun's supposed to rise about 7:10, but there looks like there's clouds, so I'll just head through the nice residential neighborhoods of Lincoln Park. We'll head up to Lakeview. I know I'm on the north side. I'm always on the north side because I live on the north side. I know people live on the south and west side. This does not represent the whole city of Chicago. I'm just a lazy live streamer. I'm just creating nice and easy content as I head to the grocery store here. We'll show there might still be some Christmas decorations on. It's still dark enough. We got 6:46 in the a.m. I'm gonna work from home today here, Friday there. Hey, Sabrina Suburban Garden, how you doing there? Happy Friday. Yeah, we got about 25 degrees, mid-20s, so we'll just say that. What's the difference between 21 and 29? It's to me, as long as the wind's not blowing, it's about the same. So, it was colder yesterday morning. It's supposed to be cold over the weekend. We might get into the above freezing today. It looks like it's forecast to get close to 40. And then temperature's gonna really dip this weekend, and we might get more snow. So we'll keep you posted. If there's any interesting weather phenomenon that I filmed over the weekend, we'll do it on TikTok. We'll do a sub only. We'll be on YouTube here until I get to the Mariano's grocery store, and then we'll if we walk back, we'll walk back on TikTok later this morning. So. But hey, thanks everybody for tuning in so early. Della's tuning in. Hey, Della, I just saw you there. Hey, Aunt Della, how you doing there? Hope you're doing well. And sorry I missed the Thanksgiving festivities, but Dad and I are planning a nice Texas trip, so hopefully we'll get you some updates of the bunch down there in Texas, and hope you're doing well and your family and everybody there. Here's Clark and Arlington. You know where we're at. You've walked these streets with me. There's James and Grandma's Corner. Thanks for being in here, Eric. Yeah, we'll go down this nice Arlington Street. Yeah, we got, at least it's wind still. That's good. Let's see, well, Ernie's tuning in there, yeah. Ernesto Chicago Nuggies, how you doing there? Yeah, check out Chicago Nuggies there, fellow Chicago live streamer. Prolific. Thanks for filming that Christmas market down there in Archer Heights, Brighton Park, around there. I saw the Grinch. That was good. That was earlier there. He streamed a lot since then. Hey, let's see, Eric. Lindsay, how you doing there? Chris, the scanner guy, yeah. Winter. Kevin Krause, how you doing there? Hey, yeah, nice, simple Christmas decorations. I really like the housing on Arlington Street, this little short, narrow, one-way street between Clark and Lakeview. This is Lincoln Park, Chicago. Hope you're having a good Friday morning here. We're in the AM. I know people tune in from all over the world, different time zones. Yeah, I want to let me get out in the street here. This street usually doesn't have much traffic on it. Maybe I'll be able to hear somebody coming behind me. We'll just walk in the street so I can film both sides of the street. There we go. Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, I think we're like almost due, and it could come from either party. It could come from the left or the right, or a new party in the center or something, third party candidate. I think we're kind of in a situation, perhaps, potentially, whereas, okay, so when JFK got elected in 1960, it was Eisenhower, it was Truman, it was FDR. FDR died in office. He was served like it was his fourth term. He was just starting. So we had a bunch of presidents that were like old white guys, and then, which is most of the presidents, except for Barack Obama, were all old white guys. And in America, United States of America. And then you got JFK, and it was like a generational shift between the, what became, the greatest generation, the silent generation that came of age during World War II, which JFK was a part of that. He served in World War II. He was wounded and floating around the ocean. They rescued him. He had back problems the rest of his life because of that, because of his service in World War II. His brother, his older brother, who probably would have been president, died in World War II. Do people remember that? That JFK had an older brother that died in World War II. And JFK felt the responsibility, as did his younger brother RFK, to repay that debt. And current president Donald Trump probably has that because his older brother died as well, died of alcoholism. And that's why Donald Trump's teetotaler like me. I don't drink, he doesn't drink. What are we talking about here? So potentially we have an opportunity for a generational switch. So we don't pick somebody like Nancy Pelosi. We don't pick somebody like Joe Biden. We don't pick somebody like Donald Trump, whatever party they're from. Somebody that's 70, 80 years old, 90 years old. Bernie Sanders is too old. It's a chance for a new, younger generation. It could be a female. It could be a man. It could be something we don't even expect, but somebody younger. I'm not saying that old. I'm not being an ageist here. I'm just saying this is eventually the people currently in power are gonna move on to the next realm in heaven there, or hell, or wherever they're going, and they are politicians. So here's the, hey, thanks for tuning in here. Welcome to Chicago. Here's the Wrigley mansion here. It was the Thurer, Thurer, was the original beer baron that built this mansion. This is on Lakeview in Arlington, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We film it all the time. I know people are like, hey, he's filming that mansion again. Yeah, it's right. I'm very fortunate to live near this thing. And it's a private residence, has a ballroom on the top floor. Every once in a while this goes on the market, sometimes $10 million. I'm not a real estate agent. Everybody's like, how much? I'm sure it's probably inflated more. Let's look at that beautiful conservatory there. Right across from Lincoln Park. There's the sun trying to rise there over the North Pond. Thanks for tuning in. I'm missing all the comments here. If you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're on Lakeview, north of Fullerton, Lincoln Park, Chicago. I'm heading up to the grocery store. I'm just walking to the grocery store before I start work. I have a job. People will be like, look at this guy. He's just walking around. Yeah, it's me. The guy just wasting time. Thanks for wasting time with me here. Here's, hey, look, there's some deer there. That's great. Hey, you got some garland here. So these are some of the last residential human scale buildings. See how the density changed in the 1920s, and then again in the 1960s and 70s, and then again in the 2000s when they built these luxury high rises, either condos, parking garages with pools on the top. Yeah, let's walk down here. We got some gas lights here. Not gaslighting. Yeah, it's a beautiful place here. Thanks for tuning in there. So I go downtown often. I was downtown yesterday. Please follow my channel. We will get downtown. I work downtown. I'm not going downtown today because I'm a lazy live streamer. What you see is what's going to get. I don't take suggestions that way. It cheapens you. It cheapens me. I don't want to enable people to think that they can direct me where to go. I'm an American, just like the president. I reject constructive criticism. But hey, thanks for tuning in. Check out these gas lights. Aren't these gas lights cool? Look at the Christmas tree. That's the hardest part for me and anybody, is to enjoy where you're at. What depresses me the most is, like, I'll be filming this beautiful gas light, this beautiful building, and someone will be like, go somewhere else. I'm like, why can't you enjoy what I'm showing right now? And when I get to where if the place you want to go, they'll be like, go somewhere else. And it's like, why can't we enjoy where we're at right now? This beautiful tree-lined street. This is Roslyn. And look at the nice Christmas decorations. It's the dilemma of life. I'm the same way. You get a nice meal, you're like, you find something wrong with it. It's just like, it's hard to, I complain a lot too. People notice this I'm a hypocrite too, so at least I admit it. Here's, there, look at the beautiful gas lights here. Look at the nice Christmas trees, window boxes. We're just checking out Christmas decorations here. Roslyn Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We got about 25 degrees. We got 6:55 in the a.m. These are nice buildings here. See how they all share walls and stuff. And again, I'm not promoting Chicago over any other city. This is just a city with all kinds of problems, just like America has all kinds of problems. But America has all kinds of good things too. So you take the good with the bad. There's billionaires and there's people living on the street. Both exist in the same America. Isn't it? Hey, this one's not This one used to be on. Maybe they turned it off. Huh. It's the first time I've seen that off. But it's real gas. It's a real gas pipe feeding them flames. This is Roslyn Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Thanks for tuning in there. Yeah. Hey, you love Chicago. That's good. Your cup of tea. That's good. Hey, well, thanks for drinking the tea here. I drank the Kool-Aid. I moved to this city in 1999. It's expensive. High taxes, high crime, cold winters. I'm trying to help out the Chicago gatekeepers that are trying to keep, no, they want nobody else moving here. We want people to stay away. Here's, we don't want nobody that nobody sent. Look at the beautiful gaslight here, Roslyn Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. We're still seeing Christmas decorations even in the morning. It's a good way to start your morning, isn't it? Look at that. That nice little, there, we'll head back to Clark. We'll zig and zag here. Yeah, and even despite us having the worst mayor, we're still kicking. Even with a mayor that potentially doesn't have a lot of experience, we're still building new stuff downtown. Yes, if you were mayor of Chicago, people would criticize you too. It's hard to be a mayor of any big city. Mamdami's going to find that out in New York City. You know, people were complaining about the high price of the CTA fare for the train line and how much they're spending on the State and Lake Station. I understand that's a lot of money. But Mamdami wants to make bus rides free in New York. I asked the person, I hope they respond. I'm like, you know, if you're criticizing the high price of the CTA fare in Chicago, are you for Mamdami's proposal for free bus fare in New York City? I want to see what they reply. And if they're for it, I'm like, well, who's going to pay for it then? You know, the buses don't run themselves. Donald Trump's not going to pay for it. Donald Trump's not going to pay for free bus fares. Is Mamdami going to pay it out of his own personal fortune? No, he doesn't have an own personal fortune. Who's going to pay? Someone's going to pay, either the corporations of New York City or taxes or, you know, socialism. I lean to the left. I could be called a communist socialist, but I realize that socialism has problems too, because eventually you run out of other people's money. And then you're right back where you started. Look at Venezuela. We seized an oil tanker. The U.S. military just seized an oil tanker from Venezuela. The military paratroop, we stole it. We just stole it, took it to, it's going to be in Galveston. Maybe when I go with my dad to Galveston, we'll see that Venezuela oil tanker sitting there off the coast. We'll try to get a TikTok on it. Say, hey, give us that oil there. Sicko. Here's St. James Place here. Yeah, let's go down St. James Place here. Yeah, how you doing there? Yeah, I'm a communist. All these words are thrown around. The pejoratives. Call me whatever you need to call me to make you feel better about yourself. That's what I say. Look down on me to feel better about yourself. You're superior. I'm joking. The world's a weird place. But hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. We're on St. James Place. We just left Clark, Lincoln Park, Chicago. I'm just zigging and zagging here. We got 658. We'll head up to the Marianos there on Broadway eventually. Hey. Yeah, when I first moved to Chicago, I lived in this building here for just briefly. On the 10th floor. It's the St. James. It was a studio. I paid... my friends from Cincinnati that rent, they paid $400 a month for a studio. I paid $450. They were going to raise it to $500, and I was like, I'm moving out because they're raising it for $450 to $500. So I moved to another building near here, and I went from $500 in a studio. This is in 1999, 2000. I went to a one bedroom in Lincoln Park, $800 a month. And I thought that was outrageous. $800 a month for a one bedroom. Because in Cincinnati, we paid $800 a month for a whole house with 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It was falling apart, but, you know, the plumbing still worked, you know, so it was good for college. And my rent has doubled and then almost doubled again since then. Isn't that amazing? You know, and here when I moved here, this was the Columbus Hospital. There was a big hospital here, and they saved the chapel where the relic. Dell and I went in there. There's a chapel there, the Francis Xavier Cabrini National Shrine. She's a patron saint of the Catholic Church. Look at this beautiful lobby here, the St. James building. This used to be a hotel, and then a lot of the old hotels that near the lake that they built in the 1920s, they turned them into apartment buildings, studio buildings. St. James here. It's got a nice lobby. You see how it's kind of like the ones we might pass them this morning on Hampton Court there at Wrightwood Apartments. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. I know. That's why there are still, Chicago's expensive. I think some people told me that in the most expensive rents I've heard of in Chicago recently are in the West Loop, around the Fulton Mark District. Some people were paying $5,000 to $6,000 a month for a one-bedroom. Now, those buildings have crazy amenities. They got indoor pools, indoor basketball courts. It's like what we saw with Brandon at the Optimus Signature. I think he paid about $3,000 to $4,000 a month for his. He had a nice place. He had a view of the John Hancock. Brandon so graciously got Chris and I up to his roof deck, and we went to his place and saw the view. It's a great building, but you know, you can find one bedrooms in Lincoln Park for around $2,000 a month, and you can actually get cheaper if you go further west. Now, of course, Lincoln Park is probably one of the most expensive on the north side. Downtown's more expensive than Lincoln Park, believe it or not. Not for housing. No, these mansions like this building. This is one. Look at this. This is one residence. So let's show this. This is on St. And again, when they tore down the Columbus, this is what made this possible. When they tore down the Columbus Hospital, they built this. This is one residential housing development. It goes all the way from there, all the way to here, all the way there. It's about like 7 lots wide. And remember, we saw that other 7 lot wide. I think the old Perillo originally estate there on Burling was 8 lots wide, but they took the 2 lots on either end, or 3 lots, and they have side yards to keep, so they're not right next to the building next to them. But this is one residence. So they pay a lot of taxes. Here's the chapel. See, Dell and I went in there. That's where we went into the Francis Xavier Cabrini National Shrine. We got reruns on it. It's beautiful in there. We'll go in there again there sometime. It's not open now. We'll go in there eventually again. Hey, David, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in from California there. Angela. Yeah, it's fun to see all the beautiful architecture, Christmas displays. Arizona, thanks for tuning in there. Great city. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the good comments here. More servants than residents. Yeah, that's how it used to be in the old days. It's like Downton Abbey. And it wasn't one big happy family. Here's, National Shrine of St. Francis Xavier Cabrini. Eucharist adoration every Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So there you go. You can go later today. Here's, this is this 2,500, whatever this is. This is where the Columbus Hospital used to be. They built this 40-story plus luxury condo building in 2012. That's when it topped out. It took them a while to get it completed. Lucien Lagrange was the architect. He did a lot of this neo-traditional style columns. Look at the nice garland here. Moving from London. Hey, that's good. Oh, moving from London. Hey, very nice. Here's maybe we can get some international people moving into Chicago. Medellin, Colombia. How you doing there? Thanks for tuning in, Medellin. Yeah, very nice. There's many beautiful cities in Colombia. Cartagena, Medellin, Bogota. Up in the mountains there. I think Bogota is one of the. Oh no, I think La Paz. If you go to Peru, it's even higher in the Andes. Like their capitals are over 10,000 feet elevation. It's amazing. And even Mexico City is higher elevation than Denver, Colorado. Here's between the Sierra Madre and the ones on the other side there. Here's look at this. So here we'll go over to Lakeview and Deming. We'll go this way. So 7:05. How's everybody doing here? So Lincoln Park's over there. We might get some more snow this weekend. It's supposed to get cold. It's not too bad today. So we'll make hay while the weather's not so bitterly cold. Hey, good morning. Yeah, thanks for tuning in here. No, I appreciate it. I'm kind of apprehensive about where all this Venezuela stuff's going, because United States just seized an oil tanker, and the current president that so desperately wants to win a Nobel Peace Prize. It seems like he wants to start a proxy war with Venezuela, and we'll see where it goes. It might all just amount to nothing. I won't start hyperventilating yet. But hey, there's the back of that chapel. There, Lincoln Park, Chicago, 7 of 6, 25 degrees. United States of America, planet Earth. How you doing? See, they built all this new housing was built after I moved to Chicago. This was it used to be part of the Columbus Hospital. I think there's still like a parking garage left there. And if you go by Clark Street, there is some medical building with a parking garage there. Yeah, Staten Island there. Yeah, watch. Hey, thanks, Patricia. Christopher Dodson has taken the Staten Island Ferry. He has nice live streams on it on YouTube. Check it out there. Wes is tuning in. Angie. I don't hate America. Sounds like you hate America. What, you just like throw out bashful things in the comments? You gaslight me? You acting like... I think the most patriotic and American thing we could do is be critical and hold our leaders to account. And I was very critical of Biden. I'm still critical of Biden. I'm still pissed at Biden for not stepping down and letting somebody else run, and the way they botched handing it over to Kamala. I am very angry at the Democrats. And don't call me a Democrat. You know, but that doesn't mean I'm a Trump supporter. I'm like a man without a party, I don't want to say a man without a country. I'm not giving up on the United States. We survived. You know, we'll get through this. America's bigger than any president, you know, and you're allowed to be critical of any president. It's your American right. First Amendment free speech. I'm not critical of everything he does. Some things he gets right, some things he gets wrong, like Biden too. Biden made serious mistakes that I still am angry about, because it led to Trump being able to come back, and Biden allowed that to happen by his own actions, you know, and mishandling, you know. And so, hey, you can be critical of me, but you can hate me, but I don't hate you. I don't understand what you're talking about here. Here's the look at that greenstone there. Look at that beautiful facade here, 2616. This was built, I think this was built in 1950. Supera, oh, that's the name. I think that's what they call it here. Look how they have that nice, they still build it like it was in the 1920s. To me, it looks like it's 1920s. This goes back to the 1880s, 1890s. It's the original nice development that they finally, after the Great Chicago Fire, look at the detail there. Hey, we're all in this together. They put them up after the pandemic. Yeah, we got Chinese cars. I remember going up to Best Buy, the Best Buy over by Elston, and there's a parking garage. You know, I went up there after I bought a gimbal one time, and I was showing the view from the top of that parking garage over there by the Kennedy Expressway near Bucktown. You could see Wicker Park and the churches there in Bucktown. And there was literally hundreds of Chinese electric cars that were sitting in that parking lot. They're all gone now because they were just storing them there to move them to dealerships. They were Chinese branded. I looked it up. I can't remember the name of the brand because I've never really heard of this brand. It's a Chinese, but it was a Chinese EV cars. But that was 2 years ago, or a year ago, so that might be different now. I don't know. I'm sure current president would admonish you to buy American, but here's Chicago. Hey, good morning. What's shaking here? Tea lime, tea time. Yeah, look at this. This is the side of the Dewey's mansion here, D-E-W-E-S. He was a beer baron, just like Thurr and Schoenhofen and all these beer barons that made a fortune from Germany. They came to Chicago in the 1800s, and before Prohibition, it was the alcohol business was always lucrative. As Al Capone, because Al Capone ran it after them. Here's Francis J. Dewey's house, Adolf Kudel and Arthur Hertz Architects, 1896. So this was built after the World's Columbian Exposition. And when all these Renaissance revival European styles were all the rage, they call it a see, it's actually called a Second Empire for French chateau, but I almost call it like Baroque. To me, it looks like a Baroque style. It's very curvy. And here, this is a beautiful apartment building here, the Wrightwood Apartments. You see, in contrast with the mid-century moderns, I've been to the top of this. They have a pool up there, a very nice view. Luckily, a friend of mine had a friend that lived there. We got to the rooftop and swam in that pool. Here's the, yeah, look at that. That's the Wrightwood Apartments here in Lincoln Park, Chicago. There's the Dewey's Mansion. We're at Wrightwood and Hamden, Lincoln Park, Chicago. 4454 West Wrightwood. Yeah, awesome house. Temperature's 25 degrees. How you doing? It's cold. It's supposed to get colder over the weekend. I don't know if that's the exact temperature. It's approximate. You know, what's the temperature where you're at? You got 80 degrees. A lot of people tune in from much warmer climates. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in, checking out the snow here in Chicago. We'll check out look at the construction price. So they wrap that. There must be working on the interior stuff. Wintertime, they wrap the look how it's just like the housing. It's like it landed from space here. Yeah, look at this beautiful lobby. Let's see what it looks like at Christmas time. This is not the Wrightwood Apartments. This is the building next to it. It's just the address. We always show this. See, they got the griffins. Yeah, they got it decorated for Christmas. Very nice. The lobby of this vintage 1929 apartment building here in Chicago. I'll just show you the entrance here. It's just an amazing. The griffins. 443 Wrightwood. This apartment building here. Hey, Valerie's tuning in there. Naya Papaya, how you doing? Hey, thanks everybody that found my Substack and subscribed there. I appreciate it because I'm going to start writing. My goal is to start complementing what we do on TikTok and YouTube here with Substack because it's mainly for writing stuff. I'm not trying to force you to do subscriptions or stuff. You could subscribe to it for free, just like here. But just another outlet for me to express myself here. Here's the Second Church of Christ Scientists. This was built in like 1900-something, 1905, around there. And they subsequently, the congregation dwindled and they sold off the church. They're supposed to put a chapel within the building, just like they did with the St. Francis Xavier Cabrini renovation, but built 6-story building and they saved some of the facade of the church here. At least they did that because it's architecturally significant. Here we're in Lincoln Park, Chicago here. Wrightwood at Pine Grove. And so we'll head up Pine Grove here. This has been under construction for 2 years. I've been streaming this for 2 years and it's very slow. This is progress. Malaysia, how you doing there? Japan's tuning in. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in from Malaysia and Japan. Very nice. Welcome to Chicago. Thanks for checking out the construction here. We're walking under the scaffolding. But look at that. Yeah, they wrapped that up. How you doing? Good morning.
Yeah. It's finally like changing.
You've been watching this for like 2 years.
Yeah. I sit out here in the morning and I watch them. They just put in all these windows like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, hey, thanks for saying hello here. I'm Brian Really Chicago. I'm on YouTube. I'm just showing the beautiful architecture. You like this is a beautiful building too.
Yeah, it's a Reformed hotel.
Oh wow.
It's like 1912 is what they told me. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
I remember being in here for a party. The balconies, you can see you can see the park. Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Well, hey, have a great day. Thanks for saying hello. Appreciate it. That's good. Yeah, good morning. Friends and neighbors. Yeah, that's good. So hey, thanks for tuning in there. Just talking to our neighbors here in Lincoln Park here across from the Second Church of Christ Scientists. Englewood's tuning in. Hey, thanks for tuning in from the south side. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for checking out what's going on up here. I'm just heading up to the Marianas. Looks like they poured some fresh concrete. I don't know, they usually pour concrete in the wintertime, but maybe they got it in this week. Let's see, yeah, she said they just put in those windows and that's why they're wrapping it up. Thanks for the good information there. Here, let me get it. Of course, I had to get out in the street because of this sidewalk construction here. So that building, that's the Brewster. That's where they filmed Child's Play, Chucky, the Chucky doll movie in the 80s. We saw the Bride of Chucky and some of the Halloween decorations. We're here, Chicago, Illinois here. We're on Pine Grove Street. We're up to Diversey. And look at these beautiful brownstones, Richardsonian Romanesque. So, you know, that church, this is the last building on that side that never sold for the new development. And then these, we're here since the 1890s. Yeah, get some Italian beef there. Aris. Yeah, Chicago hot dogs. You got it. Timothy. London's tuning in, hey. Oh, Tortoise is tuning in. Clitoris, how you doing there? Clitortis. Am I saying it right? Yeah, I remember you from TikTok. Thanks for watching on YouTube. So now I'm doing the trifecta. We're doing streaming on YouTube. We post reruns to TikTok. I do my blog on Substack. And in Substack, I can post my videos. I'm Brian Really Chicago there on Substack. Apparently I had an account that I didn't use since 2020. I posted one thing and I forgot about it. And I was looking into, I had hoped that Blue Sky would have been the third thing, but Blue Sky, I never was crazy about Twitter. And if Blue Sky is the left footer replacement to combat X, I don't like X, and I'm not, even though I'm glad that Blue Sky exists, I just don't know what to do with it. But Substack, I can do the same thing. We can do microblogging, we can do longer articles. You could write a book on Substack, you know, and we can link media. So we'll see how it goes. I might get tired of it too. Here's the Brewster, built in around 1890. It's probably one of the first large apartment buildings in this area before they built these. And here, let's cross the street here. This is Diversey. Lakes, Michigan's that way. Pine Grove, Clark Street's that way. We're crossing into Lakeview now. So we're leaving Lincoln Park and we're crossing into Lakeview here. There's the Brewsters. They built some new houses. These have been here since. That's a nice building here too. Yeah. Colorado. Yeah. What's my Naperville? Thanks for tuning in from Naperville, Colorado. Walk by your friend's house. Good. See, you could see. Keep up to date what your friend's place looks like in Chicago. Thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, Grandma's Corner, Christy M. Bonjour, France. Bonjour. Still dark in Vegas. Yeah, you're up early. Yeah, we got 7:18. You're probably like 5 in the morning there. Yeah. But hey, we're just heading up to the Mariana's grocery store. We're supposed to get cold over the weekend. Snow. If I film like the Weather Channel, the man out there in the blizzard, we'll do it on TikTok, and we'll do a super chat only. I know people want to comment. I might eventually open up the comments. We'll see. We'll just let them fly. I'll probably just turn them off so I don't have to read them, and then people get really incensed because they'll ask a real question and I won't see it. They'll be like, "You're not answering my question." They'll delete my channel. Here's this is Pearl M. Hart. She was a lawyer. Let's look at this. It's important. Pearl M. Hart, attorney, 1890 to 1975. Practiced law in 61 years. Russian Jewish neighbors near West Side. St. John's Marshall School. One of the first female attorneys in Chicago to specialize in criminal law. Pearl M. Hart. I think she lived here. So I think she lived right here. That's why they put that. See, she became a lawyer and moved up to the north side. But hey, she was an advocate for, look, she was a pioneer. She was a lawyer at the same time as like Francis Day O'Connor, first Supreme Court justice, you know, and they were true trailblazers, just like, you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg graduating class from whatever college she went to get her law degree. She's the only woman in the picture. It's like 100 men and her. And if you would have showed people in that graduating class, you say, which one of these lawyers was going to be on the Supreme Court? I bet no one would have picked the one woman, you know. Isn't that amazing? Cancun, how you doing there? Sunny and warm? Yeah, Hey, we'll go visit. We'll go take a trip to Cancun. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, checking out the snow. Very nice. Pakistan's tuning in. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I lived in Chicago for, this is my 27th winter. I'm not a native Chicagoan. People still fault me. I don't pronounce Chicago the right way. They're like, you don't say it the right way. I'm like, I know. I like that the way I say it makes them angry. I'll say it over and over again. And if people, I say it the way I say it, you say it the way you say it. You can feel superior because you say Chicago the correct way. You use the right mustard. I use the wrong mustard on my hot dog, even though I use mustard. Here's, you never can meet. I'm tired of trying to meet other people's standards. I'll constantly let them down. Hey, look at the surf in Pine Grove. Surf in Pine Grove. We're in Lincoln. Or no, we're in Lakeview. We're in Lakeview, checking out the nice multifamily housing. There's really nice apartments on this street. It's called Surf Street. Surf Street in Pine Grove, Lakeview, Chicago. There it is. Look at this Spanish Renaissance revival. Look at that crest. It has a tile roof. There's that dome there. So hey, we'll head over to, let's go over to Broadway here. Yeah. Kazakhstan, how you doing there? Well, Chris, the reason I say it so much, people keep asking me where I'm at. Believe me, I don't want to say I'm in Chicago as often as I do. If I don't, you watch the comments, people are constantly, they ask me, where is that? What country? What state? They ask the time, the temperature, over and over again, because it's the nature of live streaming. I don't, all live streamers get this, no matter where you're at. And even though I have Brian Really Chicago in my name, and I entitled this Chicago Streetwalking with the date, no one sees that. You just see the image of me walking down the street. People can't tell where I'm at. Even though there's snow on the ground, there's not snow in New York. People will think this is New York. So I can immediately tell they're not in New York because they would know there's not snow on the ground in New York right now. At least the last time I checked, I saw Mikey walking around Manhattan. Asked Christopher Dotson. I don't think they got any snow yet. At least not like this. Yeah, Rogers Park is north of us. Yeah, we've gone up to Rogers Park. Loyola's up there. You go north of Edgewater. I don't get up there too much, but we have gone up there. You watch Jody GTV. I think he lives in the Uptown area. He covers the further north neighborhoods better than I do, like Montrose, Edgewater, and Rogers Park, and Andersonville. But he's downtown all the time, too. I see him downtown. I see him on the south side and the west side. He gets all over. He gets around, as does Ernesto Chicago Nuggies, as does most of Chicago live streamers. Just watch long enough. Here's Cambridge and Surf Street. But nice apartment blocks here. You see how the stuff they built in the 60s, they put parking underneath it here. And then the older ones in the 20s don't usually have parking, because there were trolley lines at that time. Used to live in Rogers Park, Ashland and Lunt. Hey, very nice. Truman, yeah, Truman College, very nice. Yeah, I know where that's at. Yeah, is it the Wilson stop? Yeah, very nice. Yeah, Truman College. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in. Your old alma mater here in Chicago. Here's the Willows Hotel. We'll go past the Willows Hotel. This beautiful apartments. Years ago, I dated a woman that lived in these apartments, which is great. I really enjoyed it. This area here, walking Surf Street here. Here's West Surf Apartments. Yeah, here's the Willows Hotel. Look at this nice boutique hotel here, Lakeview. If you're looking for a place to stay near the Broadway, Diversey, and Clark Street area south of Wrigley Field. You can walk to Wrigley Field from here, but it's like a mile. Here's the Willows Hotel. And there's the neighborhood hotel on Clark Street, and I think there's the Versey Hotel. The Versey Hotel is at Clark and Diversey. Hey. Wow, look at the nice courtyards here. These courtyard apartment buildings on Surf Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, everybody's asleep. It's 7:24. It's pretty quiet. It's Friday. A lot of people work from home, especially in the wintertime in this area. And it's even in the summertime, it's not that crowded. It'd just be more people jogging or something, you know. There's probably people jogging on the lakefront this morning. I wanted to see the sunrise, but we got the Michigan mountains, clouds over the Lake Michigan, so we'll just head up to the grocery here. Yeah, welcome to Moscow. You got it. Moscow on Lake Michigan here. So you look down on its bashes. You do whatever you need to do to feel better about yourself. Yeah, get your little dig in there. Go whatever you need to do. We'll take it. We can absorb it. Because really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think of you. It doesn't matter what you think of me. But hey, do it. If it feels good, do it. You know. Moscow Mule. There you go. Yeah. Blackburn, England. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in there. How you doing? Yeah, Wrigley Field. Yeah, we go up there. We were up by Wrigley Field. Yeah. I mean, this is how you dress. When you live in cold weather climates. I'm not trying to win any fashion. I do this so I can pinch the screen. I'm not trying to win a fashion contest. I'm trying to stay warm. You just dress in layers. You know, look at this. You get nice boots. Look, I got these crappy sweatpants that are all tore up at the bottom because, you know, you're going to get salt. You're going to get soot and yellow snow all over your pants anyway, you know, and I'm not trying to win a beauty contest. I don't think I could if I tried. Here's I have a bunch of snot running down my nose. Usually I get like icicles hanging on my mustache. I'll look like a Nordic explorer, you know. But hey, we're on Broadway Street here, Lakeview, Chicago. We're heading to Mariano's here, 7:26 in the a.m. So what I'm going to do, in less than 5 minutes, I'll wrap this up. I'm going to quickly do my grocery shopping. I don't live stream while I'm grocery shopping because it's just annoying. We for me and for the customers, and I forget stuff, you know. And I don't need to be interacting with comments when I'm trying to buy my granola here. But we posted yesterday that I'm not trying to promote one grocery store over another. Like we're going to Mariano's here. We filmed the Fresh Market there, which is on Wells Street last night. It's reopened there on where the Dom's Market used to be on Wells Street in Old Town. So you can check that out on both YouTube and TikTok. Substack. I'm on Substack now, so we'll be talking more about that. Here's the welcome to Lakeview. Welcome to Lakeview, the nice mural here. This is at Oakdale and Broadway. We got the Divvy Bike Station here. There's Cesar's, home of the Killer Margarita here. And yeah, Oakdale and Broadway, Lakeview, Chicago. Shop, dine, play, live, Lakeview, this beautiful mosaic. And nice commercial strip here. Broadway's has nice restaurants and nice little boutiques. And look, you got tailor, repair all your clothes. You got a real electronics store. Royal Home Entertainment can fix all your electronics, stereos. We got art and antiques. And then we got some, look at that desk. Get a nice writing desk there, furniture. See, we got all these restaurants across the way. Sumo, Poke Goo. They're going to open a new Korean and Japanese beauty store on Wells Street. So it'll probably open after the first of the year. It looks like they're setting it up, so I'll keep you posted about that. That looks interesting. And there's some stores like that on this strip as well. Hey, Foresighted. Yeah, this is Chicago. So if you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're on Broadway. We're north of Oakdale. We're almost up to Wellington. I'm heading up to the Mariano's here. I'm going to do some grocery shopping. We got about 25 degrees. December the 12th, 2025. And I'm still saying 2024, and it's going to be 2026, and I'll still be saying 2024. Every year seems the same. Here, Playables. Yeah, get your smoothies. Publix, yeah, I've been to Publix in Florida. Yeah, I've shopped there. It's a good store there, chain. Yeah, time's flying. So again, as I just said, if you want to see what a Chicago grocery store looks like, please, you don't even have to subscribe or follow my page. Just check out, I have a rerun that I just posted last night. We went inside the Fresh Market just briefly. I've got other reruns where we go in grocery stores. I'm not going to do it just because you asked, because I'm the type of person, when people request stuff, I want to do the opposite. I'm just an asshole that way. So thanks for tuning in here. Appreciate you coming along for the ride here. I'm going to end this live. If you want to watch after I get out of the grocery store, we'll be on TikTok. I'm Brian Really Chicago on TikTok. I'm Brian Really Chicago on YouTube. The reason I do that, you know, if I stream outside of my normal morning walk, an evening walk, and lunchtime walk, we'll do it on TikTok. And I'm just starting this new precedent here. So Appreciate it. Thanks everybody. Thanks to my mods. Have a good rest of your Friday morning here, 7:30. So I'm gonna do some grocery shopping. We'll see you just before 8 o'clock on TikTok, and we'll walk back, and then I'll go to work, and then we'll see what we're gonna do at lunch here. But hey, thanks everybody. Yeah, you want to get? I'll give you a 12-pack. Yeah, Frosted Flakes. I'll give you a 12-pack. We'll drink it up. We'll start our Friday. There is a bar in here. There is a bar inside Mariano's, and usually on Fridays it gets pretty packed. And there's Monsignor Murphy's across the street. You go to Flubba Dub Chub. Here's the parking garage above Mariano's. Here it is. So thanks everybody. We'll see you in a few minutes on TikTok. Thanks a lot everybody from Chicago. Have a great Friday here. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right, see you, Christy, Wes, Chris, everybody. Grandma's Corner, Sabrina Suburban Garden. We'll see you later there. Thanks. Setting sun. Yeah, setting sun. Look at setting sun. Look how nice setting sun is. Yeah, you're such a nice person there, setting sun. We'll remember you. So thanks a lot.